So this is the story of my life, and I'm not a big YouTube star. I'm not someone who started from depressing beginnings and have an amazing success story, so it's probably not that interesting, but there is one thing I want to share. It's about how sneakers changed my life. To start with, I can give you a little bit of background about me. So let's rewind back about 18 years. I was born in 1995 in San Jose, California. I was born to my dad, Dennis, my mom, Elizabeth, and my two little sisters, Angela and Juliana. And yes, we all have very small eyes. I lived in a small suburban house. We were a middle-class family, nothing really special. Ever since I was little, I played a lot of sports, from baseball to basketball. My main emphasis, Taekwondo. Perhaps my biggest challenge that I've had in my life so far was in Taekwondo. One day at practice, I cut the bottom of my foot, and it hurt, but it was just a flesh wound, so I put on a band-aid. That was pretty much it. This was a day before we were flying out to San Diego for the California State Championships. I just put a band-aid over the cut, and I went to sleep. The next morning, when I woke up, I found out that the infection had spread all the way up my leg. I was horrified because my regular-sized foot the night before had swollen up 3 times its size. It was so painful I could barely walk, much less run or do any kind of practice. So that day, I went to the doctors and had my foot examined. My doctor said it looked pretty serious, so we had to do a blood test, and he drew some blood, which was really unhappy for me because I hate needles. He sent the blood to the lab. The next hour, we got a phone call from the doctor. And then I found out that I got staph infection. Now, staph is a very serious infection where if it's left untreated, it could lead to amputation. And my doctor said that was a good thing that we found out about staph infection early, and he prescribed me pills and said I had to stay off my foot for 10 days. My initial shock and worry about what was wrong with my foot soon turned into sadness and despair. This tournament was a necessary stepping stone in order to qualify for Junior Olympics. I was faced with the dilemma. What do I do? Do I compete so I had a chance to qualify for Junior Olympics, something that I'd been training for the last year and a half? Or do I rest? And do I let myself and my foot heal, but miss this opportunity that I might never get back? This forced me to change my game plan. My right foot, which had before been my strongest weapon, now became my dead weight. Long story short, I went to compete at San Diego State Championships, and I still won first place in my weight division with a big fat foot. And fast forwarding 6 months, I won a Junior Olympics in Orlando, Florida, and I placed first in my weight division. I was really happy because everything I'd worked for, all those times that I sweat and struggled, I really wanted to quit, really paid off at this time. Anyways, getting back to what I was talking about before, how sports got me into sneakers. So definitely had to start with basketball. I played basketball ever since 2nd grade, and when I really got into shoes started when I was in 4th grade. So in 4th grade, my dad took me to Foot Locker to go pick out new shoes for the basketball season. I was excited as I always loved to go get new sneakers. There were a pair of shoes that caught my eye. They were the LeBron James model sneakers. And this was before everyone was wearing LeBrons. This was the 2nd generation of LeBrons. Now, I really wanted these shoes because they had a really cool red midsole with black lining. Yet, it was $100, and that was outrageous. That time, I only wore $40 shoes at most. It was way too expensive. But my dad saw how much I really wanted them, and he said I could buy them. That was probably the best moment of my 4th grade. I was so happy and ready to get into the basketball season. I felt it would make me jump, make me run, and make me play basketball so much better. I became in love with sneakers, and I took care of all my shoes and made sure they're in the best condition ever. First, I started out with Jordans and Nikes, and they cost between $100 to $200 a shoe. Then next came the Nike SBs and New Balance and ASIC Concepts and Samples. And those two cost about $100 to $300. Soon, there were more shoe boxes than I could fit in my room, and they were filling my garage as well. Everything from ASICs to Nikes to Jordans, everything that caught my attention. You see, not having to pay tax, rent, food, any of these other bills made it really easy for me. Everything that I had saved up till this point, and all the money I was making from my side tutoring jobs, could go straight into shoes, and I didn't have to worry about anything else. My interest shifted to Louis Vuittons and to other exclusive shoes such as the Bin series. And these sneakers cost anywhere between $500 and $2,000. And yet the sad part was, I never realized how distorted my sense of money was. I was really happy. I had everything I could want. I could buy whatever sneakers I want. I could do pretty much anything. My cousin had just been accepted to the United States Military Academy, and she was telling me all these stories. It was in freshman year when I decided that I wanted to attend the United States Military Academy. Everything I did, from SATs and schoolwork to all my extracurriculars with Taekwondo and piano, all became based on getting into college. That was my main goal, nothing else. Even my community service and everything I did with this great organization called Kiva that I started a chapter at Leland High School was all because I wanted to get into college. What I couldn't see then was it was quite self-centered of me. Everything I was doing when I was supposed to be helping others was all just for myself. And I realized that made me think that what was the point of doing anything? And sometimes when it looked like it was going to be very difficult to get into the school, I became very discouraged and didn't want to do any of my extracurriculars or my schoolwork because it was just to get into the academy. The summer of my junior year, I went to Nicaragua with my local church on a mission trip. And there I did everything from digging wells to making new sanitary bathrooms. And what really surprised me is that everyone there was so happy and thankful all the time for everything they had. And what really shocked me was when we went to downtown, I found out how much $5 could last me for food, for entertainment, and everything else. Then I realized that my perception of money was very distorted. I began to work more with Kiva and spend more time into it, realizing that it was a really great organization, and even though I was no longer in Nicaragua, I could help third world entrepreneurs all over the world. Kiva works on the concept of if you give a man a fish, he eats for a day, but teach him how to fish and he eats for a lifetime. Rather than focusing on giving donations and handouts, Kiva works with third world entrepreneurs who want to start their own business, but it's very difficult for them to get loans because in third world countries, there's a very bad fiscal program. So we gave microloans, anywhere from $5 to $100, to help them begin their own business, whether it was clothing retail or selling apples. And generally, in their mission statements, a lot of these entrepreneurs wanted to help send their children to school. Soon after a lot of dedication and fundraising with my club and all my good friends and all the other people who I actually didn't know who helped a lot with the club, we raised over $1,000 just in 1 year. And yes, I still do love sneakers and fashion, but I realized that it was more practical to go with the route of running shoes and performance shoes rather than expensive designer and Jordans. I really became happy with all my studying, and once I found a goal and something to work for, I became mentally fit, physically fit, and I also was enthusiastic about academics. And I'm proud to say I am going to be part of class of 2017 at the United States Military Academy. Go Army! I plan to study international relations with a minor in a foreign language, and it would be my dream to be a diplomat in a foreign country. With this position, I feel that I could continue to do good work with what I started with Kiva. So make sure to check out Kiva, and you can donate anywhere from $5 to $100, and just spreading the word also helps a lot. Click on the annotation that's already on the screen, and it'll take you to their homepage. Just give them a quick read and just see what the organization's about. You'll be quite surprised. It's a great program. Thanks for watching, and that's pretty much the end. And hopefully this story just helped one other person realize their priorities in life. So if you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends, and just make sure that whatever you do, set your priorities and fix a goal in mind. And whatever you want to achieve, anything is possible.